welcome to Planet Bollywood. Well, today, all this long, we've been saying Me Too movement is not just about women, it's about men, women, LGBTQ+, and everyone who's faced sexual harassment, exploitation at their workplace. And today, from the fashion industry, we have Kawaljit right here on Planet Bollywood with us. Kawaljit, we give you this platform right here to share your story. Let's start from the very beginning. You've named Vijay Arora, the designer. Let's start with what happened with you.
So I entered into the industry in 2001. I was still in college, and I won runners-up in Grassy Mr. India. I came into the industry. My first job was the Lakme India Fashion Week.
Right.
So I happened to have a chance to work for Krishna Mehta, and then Krishna Mehta suggested my name because she thought I had what it takes to basically, because there were some. Basically, they needed one boy to fill up the panel list. So then I met them, and then I was on it. So I did the fashion week, and that's where I met this gentleman. All right. So now, and others, and so it was being thrown into this whole big bad world of fashion, which was very glittery, but at the same time, you do get exposed, and you realize that there is a dark space as well. So I met this gentleman, and so he was friendly, and I did not know that these kind of things, you're just getting aware, and until it happens to you, you don't know. So however it is coming forward, I think now this is what, because these are basically, once I get in touch with my the choreographer for whom I did this show in 2002 or 2000, end of 2002-3, around that time, those years I am not so clear about, but I clearly remember the incident and the repercussions that happened after that. So basically, I did work for. So I did a show in Delhi, and I was with, because you are new, so there are these senior models, and they take you under your wings. And then I shared my room with this very senior model, and I was around him all the time because I could feel some discomfort. So I was also did my show, and I came back, and after that I think I met. So he is based in Delhi, and I've been based in Bombay, so I bumped into him in a party, and because I just recently worked with him, and there were people from the fashion fraternity and everything. I think it was there was this at Fire Nice, so like everyone mingling in the middle is coming and whatever saying something, and those regular chats and all that, and suddenly he comes up to me and says that come with me. There was an urgency. And it has happened many times that in parties that people get really drunk and they puke or they fall sick, and so I was like, probably it's one of those cases where like it's in need of the hour that I need to go and help. So I thought it was an emergency, because so I went out with him, and I walked out a little ahead, and then he came up to me. He just came towards me, and as he came, I pushed him away, and I can remember the expression so clearly that he was so angry, and I started walking back, I just started walking back, and he's shouting that, he was saying that I'll, whatever, these threats and all that started coming, and I had come to that party alone. I immediately left. I took a cab, and then you want to get sheltered in a home, in a safe environment. I was 21 or something like that. At that point of time, I was really young, and I had just come out of college, and in college and all that. These things you're not aware of these things because you're literally coming out of the books. I was a topper in school and stuff. So for me, fashion was like a very different, extremely different world. But I chose to take that step because this is what I really wanted to do. So for me, I always say that, I came out of the books on the ramp, literally. So that's how things happen. So then I walked off, and then after a month or after a while, I don't remember, I can work on those things, and after a while I remember that he still needed to pay me for that show. So I thought कि अभी तक अक्कल आ चुकी होगी, because लोग गलत करते हैं, उनको धक्का मारते हैं, बात खत्म हो गई. और क्योंकि उन दिनों ऐसा कोई मीडिया and all that कोई बात ही नहीं करता था. There is male sexual abuse, female sexual abuse, all this is so rampant. Where did we even hear that? Where did we even hear that? So, and I thought this was a way of dealing with it. And you would hear of stories where male models would beat up coordinators who would have had fresh with them, and those are the boys who actually went back, so you hear those stories. So, however it is, and when I messaged him, then there was this really nasty messages like, you are such a bad model and you ruined my show, and like, I am going to be stronger on the panel next year, and I'll make sure you don't do the fashion week. And I was like, it was like I was sitting in my friend's house and I was reading this, and I was like, again, it was a little traumatizing, but again, like, you can't do much about it. ठीक है भाई, अब तुम कर रहे हो ऐसा, तो like छोड़ो, बात खत्म. तो फिर उसके बाद I was never in touch with him. Obviously, I mean, there was no need to be in touch with that. We never, because we never came across crossed paths.
Yeah.
Then in 2006, and by this time, I was on TV all the time with TV commercials, all the time. I always had a campaign on air. For every like year, I had like 4 to 5 big campaigns on air. I was doing a lot of work. I was walking around the ramp, thanks to a lot of designers, choreographers who like to give work in the right way. And those are the ones when I actually, those are the ones who are supporting me right now, because they are also against it. But this has just become like a norm for some people who are really powerful, and hence people who are not, they just try to think that, okay, fine, we can get away with this. If this one can get away, even I can get away with this. And that's how they take that leverage. Like even now, after I put up the story, like this is a clear act of bullying. It's a clear act of bully and power play. And after I put up my story, the reaction came is that I'm going to be sued. Fantastic. Please go ahead. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Like, if you want to go ahead and take those measures rather than repenting and regretting and saying that, however, it is coming back to my earlier point. In 2006, I was told by a very senior person in the industry who I just walked the ramp for, and like in Bombay, and he said, okay, we were having a conversation, and he said that you should come to Delhi for the Lakme thing. And I had tried earlier also once or two times, and I would be out in the first round. I would be out, and for somebody who had, forget about the contest that I had won, and forget about the I won't say if I keep aside the contest that I won, and if I keep aside the body of work that I had as a model, and so even in that situation, I don't think so I deserve to be out in the first round. However it is, I would still give it a benefit of doubt, no problem. 2006, I go to Delhi for this audition, and two of the panelists came up to me, very senior panelists. They came and said, "What is your problem? What is his problem with you?" And I was shocked. I was like, somebody has held this, and taken it on their ego so badly. It's so infallible, because things happen in our life and we just forgive, because that's the best way to be for a lot of people. I won't say for a lot of people. So I was actually very surprised. And basically the word that came to me was that he has said that he's not going to use you, and none of his other, he'll make sure that his friends don't use you, because it was happening in Delhi. So there is no point selecting him. However it is, as usual, muh latka ke main wapas aa gaya. Now, again in 2009, when the men's fashion week was happening for the first time, there were people who were already selected, who were juniors, who were not, I mean, there were a lot of people who were on the panel, and a whole list of models, and but I didn't get a direct call. So I chose to go for the audition, and then I went for the audition. Of course, there were a little bit of murmur, because okay, why because you're such a senior. In fact, one of the panelists, who happens to be very famous as well, he asked me in front of the panel that how come you have come for the audition? You're so senior. And so I said, because that's the only way. And this person also, if he comes forward, these people can take their names, because these things were happening. So I said that this is the only way I know how to get work. I mocked it, and I finished my thing, and I came out. And the next day, I see there is an article that I have posted with my experience that I've shared, where it is very clearly mentioned. And this gentleman was there during that. He was not on the panel, as far as I don't think so he was on the panel, but he was around for, and usually designers and choreographers or supermodels, whoever, who are not in the judgment, judgment panel, they are usually, I've not seen, because I've been for many auditions, they are usually not around on that day, because it's not, so, and he was there for whatever reason he was there. I saw him. And so, however, the question here comes is that, so there's an article by the Times of India, if I'm not wrong, which I have tagged in my Facebook thing, or post as well, which clearly says that Mr. India World Kawaljit Anand celebrating his entry in the men's fashion week. So I don't know where this song is celebrating, but yeah, obviously they must have seen it. So, and we were not informed that by that time, because usually what happens is that you go for an audition and उसके बाद आपको calls आते हैं जो selected हैं. तो मैंने वो पढ़ा और मुझे call भी आया एक correspondent का, congratulations, you are selected, because there were people clicking pictures and this and that. So I was like, चलो बहुत अच्छा है, but मुझे कोई call आया नहीं. I didn't receive a call, and then what do you assume from that? Because there are these couple of people, I would say it's like a nexus, and then there is favoritism. This is not something that is unknown. It is something that is not unknown. When I put up my post on Facebook, the largest amount of support that I've gotten is from the industry, saying that भाई तुमने बोला बहुत बड़ा अच्छा किया, बहुत रिव्यू का कमी, ये तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा rampant है. They were everyone. Lot of people were waiting. Lots of us are waiting for people to talk because it is so rampant. It is like a norm. Yeah. It has become like a norm. So much so that मतलब they have the audacity of saying that लड़के तो अपने आप आगे से आते हैं. As I told you earlier कि पहले इन questions का कोई मतलब नहीं था. Like अगर लोगों ने 2010 में और उसके पहले भी बताया, मतलब काफी clearly लिखा गया कि the amount of favoritism and sexual favors that happens in the fashion fraternity. There have been write-ups on that. But and of course the murmurs, the talks and all that. It's like a known thing. It's nothing new that I'm coming up with. It is a known thing. We all know who's dating and all, who and what is happening. It is very clear. And then it is thrown on your face that just because you are not doing it, and let me tell you something. Is I would like to tell you that what happens is that they say that boys तो आगे से आते हैं, ठीक है? I want to tell you something. I have been in fashion and modeling, more in advertising for a very long time, like with my contests and everything. I can tell you something, and I know these boys. I know one thing, that if you would have not created, the one in power, this particular situation for them, I know these boys would not take that path. The ones who have taken. I have my full empathy for them. I have, girls, like the senior girls and all that, they've always in common, they sympathize. Ki yaar, this is not fair and this is happening, and you talk, it's like a conversation that happens in very close circles ki aisa ho raha hai ya aisa ho raha hai, somebody went through this is this or this or whatever, those kind of things happen, but nobody really comes up and talks, because kya hoga? You will be out of work. You will lose. जो आपको थोड़ा बहुत काम मिल भी रहा है उनको, वो भी चला जाएगा. मेरे को तो चलो एडवर्टाइजिंग ने बचा दिया, मैंने तो कॉन्टेस्ट जीत लिया, ठीक है? तो वो करके थोड़ा बहुत कर लिया मैंने,
So, well, designer Vijay Arora says that the allegations जो आपने उन पर लगाए हैं वो गलत हैं, झूठे हैं, and वो इस मामले को लेकर आपके ऊपर legal action लेने वाले हैं. What do you have to say about it?
What do I say about it? This is again another threat. Right? पहले आपको क्या कहा गया था कि भैया you are aware that if you don't give in then you lose work. Okay. Right? Now that people have started, like I have started to speak up, and so now there is another threat coming up. So this is being bullied, right? Earlier, of course, I had that fear of losing work or whatever, or I was just focusing too much on my work and not on these negative situations. That's why I didn't really and of course there was no support. That I don't think so. I couldn't see that I would have gotten any support and anybody would have heard my story. In regards to this, because there are so many stories like this coming out every single day by male models being tried to be exploited by choreographers, by designers, by coordinators and by casting directors. ये तो बहुत ही ये तो अगर आप मेरे Facebook पे जाओगे, there are hundreds of testimonials from the industry. There are hundreds of testimonials from the industry. So it is, and they're all saying कि चलो कोई तो बोला. It's almost like that कि हाँ ये तो हो रहा है, पर अच्छा किसी ने बोल तो दिया कम से कम, क्योंकि और वो भी openly बोला है. So as far as the legal actions are concerned, ठीक है. Not that I was not aware of it before I put it up on Facebook. I was very well aware कि सामने वाले से कुछ reaction, but that is not something that I'm going to focus on. That's none of my business. उनको जो करना वो करेंगे, हम अपना काम करेंगे, वो अपना काम करेंगे. जैसे मैंने पहले किए, when I was working as a model, मैं अपना काम कर रहा था, वो अपना काम कर रहे थे. अभी मैं अपना काम करूँगा, वो अपना काम करेंगे.
फैशन इंडस्ट्री हम सबको पता है कि एक छोटी सी इंडस्ट्री है, everybody knows everybody. So do you think that is one of the biggest reasons that male models and female models are not coming forward कि उनके साथ जो sexual exploitation होता है और sexual assault होता है, you think in the fear of losing the job because the industry is so small, वो बाहर आकर अपनी stories नहीं बता रहे, because if they say then there are connections there and they might lose out on work.
तो ऑब्वियसली और क्या रीजन है, ये तो हमें पता ही है ना, हमें पता है कि ये हो रहा है, ठीक है। फीमेल मॉडल्स का तो मैंने इतना कभी सुना नहीं है, मेल मॉडल्स का यहाँ पर होता है। और अगर क्या बोलते हैं, तो ये हमें पता है कि अगर आपने मुंह खोला तो आपके पेट पे लात पड़ने वाली है। आप जो सपने लेके आए हैं, अलग अलग सिटीज से जो लोग आते हैं, एंड दे लीव देयर एजुकेशन, दे लीव देयर फैमिलीज, दे लीव अदर प्रोस्पेक्टिव करियर्स दैट दे कैन गेट फॉरवर्ड विथ। लाइक एज आई सेड दैट आई हैव स्टडीड साइकोलॉजी. I come from in a family where everybody has a master's degree, and it's more of an education-based and a business-based family. And you leave all that, and others have other stories and other backgrounds to come from. You leave that and you come forward because you believe in this particular dream that you want to achieve, and you feel that you have what it takes, and you work hard towards it, and you know that if you speak up, and that is what it happens.
Yeah.
That is how it happens. We all know how many people have gone back because of that, after hitting somebody, or after not getting any work, or for whatever reasons as such. So yeah, of course, that's the reason.
So Kawaljit, what according to you is the solution mode? Now we all know that fashion industry is a very small industry. Everybody knows each other. And if you talk about it, you lose your job. If you don't talk about it, you're sexually exploited, sexually harassed. So आपके हिसाब से, what is your message to those who haven't found their voices and don't have the courage to speak their truth?
So what I would like to tell them is that from where I got my courage in this whole patriarchal setup, I got my courage from the LGBTQ plus community, with what happened and how they won in the just a couple of months back, and then from the women who have been talking in the last 1 month. As a man, I derived my courage from them, and trust me, right now they are the ones who are giving me my biggest support. I applaud them for this. I applaud, and I would just tell the boys that you have been taught on a daily basis, man up. So now this is the time to actually man up. I'm sorry for my language. Right? And I know that the boys are going to talk. I have full faith. When I started, I did not start with that expectation. I did not start with the expectation of getting support with that I am getting right now. I did not start with any such expectation. I needed to put up what I believed in very, very strongly. For the brickbats or for the glory, for whatever. And it is to my advantage that there is there are people who are actually coming up and saying that yes, glad somebody spoke up. It is almost like ये तो है, कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा. It is like there is no surprise element to it, not at all. It's become such a norm. So yes, boys, come on, talk. There is still a large part of the industry which gives you work on the basis of your talent. That is how I survived. That is how, on the basis of so many other people, survived and made they made their bread and butter and some name for themselves, and also transcended into other fields. Right? So there is a large part which is fair. However, there is a small section which is not so fair, and we know about it. Most of us, I won't say all, most of us, if not all, we know about this. I have started to speak, and I am not stopping. Right? So it is your... Now, I don't know where you derive. I understand that the oppression has been going on for so long, and it's become such a norm. It's difficult. It was difficult for me also.
But at least this is a start.
It's not been easy for me. But I have taken up this. I have... Let me tell you something, that I am not getting back into this, the whole thing. I did not want to model all my life, because there is more to me. That is why I wanted to. I'm not exploring other areas of professionally. I'm exploring other areas right now. So to be really honest, I don't have anything to really because I mean, come on, there is a time for everything. And with all the limitations that I had for not having a godfather, I still did what I did, and I'm extremely happy with how much I did in those limitations. So now it is your time that you also speak up and remove those limitations for others. Come on, let me ask you one question. Forget about, I am not going to give you a big speech saying that कि यार जो दूसरे बच्चे आ रहे हैं and all that. Forget about your दूसरे बच्चे. कल अगर I'm talking to the boys right now. This is being addressed to the boys. ठीक है? And this is your story. You want to share. You don't want. It's totally your prerogative. I am no one to decide. But I want to ask you one question. You get married, or you're already married. You have kids, or you're gonna have kids. After 10, 20, 15 years, if something happens to your child, what are you gonna do? Now speak up. Just because of the repercussion, this is the world you want to give to them. Forget about the world that you want to give to the people who are coming into the fashion industry. This is the world you want to give it to your children. Then you might as well not have children. And even if you have it, tell them please don't dream, don't aspire, become a sheep and don't do anything about your dreams. या और वो fashion industry तो भूल से भी मत जाना, मैं जा चुका हूँ, मेरे साथ तो हो चुका है, या मेरे दोस्तों के साथ हो चुका है. तो and then you will derive the respect from them.
Kawaljit, hats off for what you've done. Thank you. You're the first man who've spoken up, and I'm sure this will be an inspiration to many men out there who are still contemplating whether they should share their story or no. Thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for joining us on Planet Bollywood.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's time for a short break on Planet Bollywood. We'll be right back. You don't go anywhere. If you're looking for some fashion inspiration, here are our B-Town stars giving you some fashion goals. First up on the list is Kiara Advani, who's wearing a royal blue jumpsuit and baby pink ballerinas, carrying a blue handbag, and she wore sunnies, and well, she looked all simple yet very comfy. Next on the list is Malika Sherawat. After a long time, well, we spotted her wearing a black tee paired with black washed jeans and boots. Carrying a multicolored handbag, no accessories and hair kept open, she chose to keep her look absolutely simple.
We spotted Sonakshi Sinha, who looked very elegant in a white V-neck collared pencil cut dress, and that green bow detailed strappy heels were a highlight. With minimal accessories, she looked absolutely stunning. We also spotted Kartik Aaryan, who had his swag mode on in a grey tee paired with black shirt over it and black washed jeans and white sneakers to complete the look.
Well, next is Deepika Padukone wearing a light blue short kurta with a beige overcoat with buttons paired with blue denims and black slip-ons. Well, she also wore sunnies and carried a handbag, completing her look, and she looked absolutely stunning.
Up next is the red-hot beauty, Jacqueline Fernandez, who wore a red velvet blazer and pant coordinates. She accessorized it with silver bracelet and a ring, which added an edge to her entire outfit. She definitely looks gorgeous. And on that note, we give a big thumbs up from Zoom and Myntra to all our celebrities. Well, this brings us to the end of episode on Planet Bollywood. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place at 7 p.m. It's me, Sagarika Chetri, signing off.
And this is me, Rishita Singh. Until we meet next time, keep watching Zoom, styled by Myntra.